Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some more Vagrus, the Riven Realms. We're continuing with it's sort of like a prologue, a bit more guided narrative, but it's cool, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, this is a slow burn, so buckle in. I do plan on playing a sizable chunk of this. I don't want to say a full playthrough, because I don't fully understand what a full playthrough is. I did have a little fiddle in the main mode, and it's much more open world. Think, Battle Brothers, but managing a trade caravan instead, right? So how do you know, how long is a piece of string? I don't really know if this game has a strict narrative ending per se, but you know, we'll still persevere because I'm loving it as far as the narrative arc of it goes. Anyway, so this is the book that we opened up with our objective. We're in Scrap Heap and we need to strike a deal, which we've already done. Now we need to buy everything at the market for our journey. 24 scrap metal, we need 800 supplies, and the awning equipment. Oh, okay. Right, cool. The market pane is now active. This is where we're up to. You can buy settlements. You can buy at the settlements market on the right, and open your cargo pane on the left. Okay, so that's my food supplies. Looks like cooked lizard on a stick sort of thing. Delicious. And maybe that's like a bottle of water, but it looks like a general blanket survival supplies. Cool. When buying and selling, buy one or sell one increment by clicking on the buy sell button. Yeah, okay. Holding shift will increment it higher. Buys and sells a whole stack. Drag and drop the icon for buying and selling a stack. Holding shift and clicking the icon opens a window where you can specify the amount. Okay. Okay. So if I were to click this there, right, we can buy what we want. But if I shift click on buy, because we want the 24 scrap. Oh, it buys a stack, which represents 6 as an inventory space. 6, 12, and 24. There we go. Additional supplies to have at least 800, right? All right, okay, so we bought... Yeah, there we go, cool. That worked out perfectly. Equipment that you can attach to the Comitatus is sold on some markets or found throughout your travels. They provide bonuses and upgrades. You can switch between the market and goods panel, the bottom of the list. Oh, here we go, right. So equipment, awnings, right? And that's what we need to purchase. Now, what's this? Minus 20% consumption. Linen awnings stretched over the saddles and carts to block harmful weather effects and provide shade. Yes, so sort of like that, I suppose. Nice. Yeah. Right, and it goes down here, owned equipment. Is in the pool. In order to gain the bonuses, you need to equip them first. Oh, okay. So it goes in this slot there. Cool. Equipped. Items, the third type of cargo, do not take up cargo space and are not equipable. They're used and traded in certain events. Okay. You can switch panels and settlement. Cool. When you're done exploring, click the arch icon at the bottom right to leave. Well, I mean, there's not much else we can do. Oh, well, I found another way to leave anyhow. Okay, packed up, restocked on supplies, and with all your business here concluded, you finally make ready to leave the decrepit town of Scrap Heap behind in the morning. You spend the night inside the guarded compound, not for free though. Okay. On second thought, there are still things you wish to explore in Scrap Heap. It'll cost me $1. No, we'll spend the night. That's fine. You set out at dawn. Ashes flitting from the sky, and the distant mountains rumble ominously in the morning twilight as your Comitatus reaches the west gate of the town. You notice almost immediately that the militia at the gates is questioning and inspecting travellers. Move along toward the inspection. A robed magistrate of the Heap King appears to coordinate the search effort, picking out people or even whole travelling groups for inspection. As your Comitatus draws near, it takes only a passing glance from him to check you and your crew before he motions to the guards to let you through. Whew. You pass under the gate and out into the broken wastelands. Not that I think we're carrying anything particularly dodgy, right? Well, actually, I did say in the previous episode that I think maybe we might have had to smuggle a package out for old mate. So, but not in this particular scenario. The Comitatus is well on its way, and Scrap Heap is a mere dot on the horizon by the time Javik joins you at the front of the line. Just like I said, you made the right choice with this venture. Talk of how you may save us all is spreading like wildfire, he says with a faint smile. Of course, we do have to make it alive to Devon with the cargo, but it's a good start, don't you think? Agreed, there may be hope for the Comitatus. Agreed, there may be, hope for after all. Turn away, I'll just nod in agreement. Might be a bit cold on this bloke, eh? Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's not like we started this business yesterday. Correct. With that, you both go back to your duties and the constant monitoring of the horizon. If all goes well, you should reach the Wound in a few days, where you can turn south along the edge of the Molten Tongue and travel down to Avernum. Now, I'm not even sure. I think the geolocation when you start a new game, because it is very sandboxy, probably going to have nothing to do with any of these landmarks. So I'm not really worried about getting into the lore specifically of these, but when we do start that campaign, I probably will. You know, if there are local cities and landmarks, I'll probably make the time to learn them then. The journey continues and morale has gone up. Wonderful. Your progress is saved at checkpoints. Whenever you leave a settlement, reach a story-related checkpoint, as well as at the start of each in-game day, your game is saved automatically. Manual savings unavailable in this Pilgrims of the Wasteland. Yeah, spoiler alert, I had to quickly skip through all the dialogue to get back up to this, because after I stopped recording, it didn't save the game, but we're all good. But for people playing this prologue, maybe it's worth noting, you know, that first save is a little bit in. But you can manually save the main campaign. Okay, cool. Cool. Hold space.
There they were, with a full cargo hold and filled with newfound hope.
Yet,
the road ahead still promised hardships and peril. I travelled with them southwards, expecting to reach more habitable lands beyond the Molten Tongue's river of lava.
So he's just some rando in my crew, basically, telling my story. Well, now how much travel? We've got 9 travel dollars. We can't make that, but we can make it to that. So there we go. The crew management UI is now available. Click on the sheet in the top left corner to open it. Just click, oh right, okay. Crew management window allows you to manage your Comitatus. Morale is the general mood of your Comitatus. If it ever drops to 1, there's a chance that the Comitatus dissolves and you lose the game. You can see the current effects of your morale. Okay, so where is morale's there? So it's 7, which is pretty cool. Max morale is 9. Is that for everything? Okay, 9 is max everything. Okay, that's cool, good to know. Yet 1 is also fail condition, or at least there's a chance. So 1 is kind of 0. You know what I mean? It's so the system's more like it's out of 8. Yeah. So you'd probably say 5 is in the middle, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 or 6. 5 to 6, I would say, is your middle of the road. Cool. So maybe, you know, if you got to come up with your own idiosyncratic system. So maybe if you're at 6, you're happy, but if you drop to 5, you want to start pushing it back up towards 6 or more. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's percentage multipliers for higher statistics. Obedience indicates how satisfied your slaves are. Low obedience leads to theft, runaways, and worse. Be sure to guard your slaves with enough fighters and treat your slaves well or punish them. Yeah, see, low obedience. So that's not necessarily fail condition at 1. The higher the better, essentially. It looks like they get a little named compliant. You can't really go wrong with compliant. Nutrition shows you how well fed your crew is. Low nutrition incurs penalties. Extra rations raises nutrition, while starving your crew repeatedly lowers it. Sustained, okay. Vigor indicates how tired the comitatus is. Low vigor results in penalties on tests and in a drastically slower comitatus, which can spell doom quite fast. You can see the current effects of your vigor below the rating. Yeah. Energetic. +0 nutrition. Right. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Upkeep is how much you owe the crew. Where is upkeep? Can I move this window? Well, there it is there. Accrued upkeep, daily upkeep. You can pay them at the end of each day or keep collecting debt. Consumption is how much food your crew consumes each day. Running out of supplies leads to a quick death in the wastelands. Workforce is generated by workers and slaves. You have to have enough workforce to cover the comitatus's needs, including beasts, crew, and passengers. Going below that required number bestows serious penalties. Right, so you can see 16.5 out of... Yep, okay. Passengers are people your comitatus takes to their destination for rewards. You can take on passengers in some events and settlements. They also consume supplies. Lizard icons, right. Here you can see the number of each crew and beast type you have in your comitatus. Consult the tool tip for, whatever. Outriders are special because you need a fighter and a mount to be able to create an outrider. Oh, right, it's a combo. So it's like a mounted dude in Warhammer. Cool. That's what I'm going with. Well, outriders are excellent fighters. Mounts with outriders carry cargo. You can always dismount fighters. Oh, right. So you got mounts, also got beasts of burden, which are probably something different again. Oh, here you go, and you got a little saddle there. You can mount them up. You can mount it up if you do not have any beasts of burden, and if you have enough mounts for all your crew members. Right, okay. For now, add an outrider, then close this window. Okay, so bang, done, nice. Then close this window. Right. Cool. Let us continue. You've run out of movement points and need to camp, ending the day. Being on the road all day, spending most of your movement points lowers the vigor of your comitatus that you can replenish by camping. You can also camp earlier than running out of MPs, which helps raise vigor faster. Right, and which one is vigor again? This one. Energetic, which is pretty cool. All right, camp. I actually love this. When I said before, it's like Battle Brothers, but way more narrative and all about a trade and transport caravan. Some people would really like hearing that. I'm one of them. I'm not that worried too much about EVE Online spreadsheet simulator when it comes to trying to get the right dollars and cents out of the trade, but I enjoy the journey of the trade, which I would argue in something like EVE or whatever is the weakest part. You know, that's where you go on autopilot and go somewhere else into the, go do your taxes or something. I'm more into, this seems to be lighter when it comes to the trade mechanics. There's, buy low, sell high, that sort of thing. But it's not complicated. It's more about the journey and the hazards in between. I think that's very cool. At the end of each in-game day, the comitatus makes camp and settles down for the night. Supplies are consumed and movement points are refreshed after camping. At each camp, you can decide to offer normal or double wages for the current day, independent of whether you pay them or not. Double payment increases morale. You can also choose to pay all your debts to your crew at this time, or accrue payments, but the longer you delay, the grumpier the crew gets. Obedience and nutrition also appear here, as well as the option to discipline or liberate slaves. Oh my goodness. Workforce shows how much workforce generated by workers and slaves you need to maintain the comitatus. Going below this required bestows serious penalties. Okay, cool. So I don't really want to fuck with that number. You have the option to give out less or more supplies under rations, which penalizes or boosts vigor and morale respectively. Starving your crew will have long-term negative effects on nutrition as well, but it may be necessary sometime to save rations. All the lock icons allow you to save current settings of the corresponding you. Oh, right. So you can lock it in if that's just how it is in my caravan, then you can lock it in. Under hunting and foraging, you can send your crews out into the wasteland to find supplies and sometimes even other goods. Base chances for these activities depend on your related perks, deputies, crews, and the region that you're in. Okay, cool. You can also see the expected yield below each activity. The cost of hunting and foraging is movement points or vigor if you are out of movement points. Okay, cool. So there is an advantage of resting with a little bit extra. Hunting uses scouts and has a chance to get you a large number of supplies. Critical failure might kill scouts. Foraging is more reliable but yields fewer supplies. You can use workers and slaves. You can add to them or remove them from the activity by clicking the portraits. Critical failure might kill workers or slaves. Hunting and foraging results appear at the end of the day. Okay, cool. Summary of what happened to your crew that day can be seen on the right. Crew change. Okay, yep. You can also talk to your companions using the speech bubble beneath their portraits. All right, use this. I've got some weird bloody horned demon Sheila in my team. Companions heal naturally during camp. The chance of healing or worsening condition can be seen at the bar below the portraits. I can't see any of that, but sure, okay. Using the button on the right allows the use of medical supplies. That must be this one here. Yep, medical supplies. For increased healing chances and effectiveness, medical supplies are quite valuable. Use them wisely. Healing results appear after you end the day. You must also set your defense order for night. More lenient defense is a higher risk of a nighttime ambush and a negative effect on obedience. Okay. When you've set everything up, click the end day. Okay, cool. Daily upkeep, accrued upkeep. Morale is steady. Well, pay later's fine. Submissive, okay, that seems all right. Sustained nutrition, okay. Let's just hold on to the normal rations. Vigor is energetic, though. Let's go foraging. That uses 2 move. Disable hunting and foraging results. No. Send out your workers to forage. Send out your slaves to forage. Oh, that's hunting. Ah. Oh, wow, I can send out everybody. Now, -2 move. Yeah, we'll do that because our vigor can take a hit. Let's lean it all on, right? And then what's this? Post no guards, +1 vigor, minus morale. Oh no, nonsense. No bonuses, no penalties. Well rested. Subservient. Eager. Yeah, let's do that. Post guards. All right, end day. Hunting success. Foraging failed, but no one was harmed. Well, that's good. Okay, cool. We're getting the hang of it now. Camp again. Keen. I mean, how much money do I have? I'll pay now. Bugger it. I don't want them getting grumpy. Vigor is fresh. Nutrition sustained. We've only got 6 days of food. There you go. We'll relax it because I want more vigor back. Okay, this is cool trying to juggle these numbers. I have to try and, obviously massage and figure out what's good and what's bad. After a long day's march under bleak skies and harassed by hot winds, the Comitatus finally settles down in a wide ravine. After taking care of camp chores and checking on all your commerce, you go to your tent and tuck in for the night. There are benefits to sleeping out in the wasteland. The silence is quite calming, tranquil even. Only the murmur of the distant, fire-belching mountains, the whisper of the wind, and the occasional groan of your beasts can be heard. Except something else is making a muffled noise you do not recognize. Your eyes flick open. Something is wrong. What in Tartarus is it now? You rise to check it out. Leaving your tent and passing the sleeping beasts, you are just about to call a guard when you stumble upon a large quadrupedal creature covered with fused bone protrusions. It is munching on supplies scattered across the ground, evidently from a torn open sack lying nearby. The creature is a Jakra, a wasteland scavenger that hunts in packs. Before you can utter a word, the monster charges you, and out of the shadows Morwen leaps at it, tackling it aside and cutting its hide with her bone axe in a follow-up swing. You breathe out, realizing that she has probably just saved your life. Javik runs up to you just as the creature backs off and lets out a long howl. There's more of these accursed things. Boss must have sneaked past the perimeter guards. Well, I didn't post guards. Oops. They're trying to chase them off, he blurts out. As he does, you can hear yelling and the sound of a battle from around the camp. The wounded Jakra is joined by another one from behind a cargo pile, and the two of them start circling you. Javik steps beside Morwen as they get ready for the fight. All right, here we go. So we'll get into the turn-based combat component. Oh, geez, look at them. They're jacked, man. All right, companion combat is turn-based, where 1 to 6 enemies fight against your team of 1 to 6 companions. You can use the skills of your companions to defeat enemies, protect your companions, and set yourself up in an advantageous position on the combat board. Companions combat is made up of rounds. Each round, all the participants take turns to act. And when everyone has had their turn, the current round ends and a new one is started. This goes on until either you or your companions, your enemies, are defeated. Combat board is divided into 2 sides. The friendly side, yep, occasional allies are there. Right side, we are enemies. Each has a front row and a back row, melee and ranged. Each row has 3 positions. Certain skills can only be used when standing in certain positions. Sure, this is standard fare. We've seen this before. The order in which combatants receive their terms is according to initiative. The music's shit itself. At the beginning of each round, all active combatants add 1 to 6 random to their initiative to determine in what order they will progress through the round. Oh, okay. At the beginning, they add 1 to 6. That's cool. So you could get a runaway initiative, potentially. You could keep rolling 6s. Or you could close the gap and pass them. But it shouldn't change too radically. That's kind of clever. The initiative top left shows the order in which combatants receive their turns. Wise leaders use this information to plan ahead. Well, I mean, I've been called many things, but not that. Oh, Jesus. Melee skills can only be used from the front row. They can only target front row enemies that are adjacent to the attacker's position, or back row enemies if no front row enemy blocks them. Right? Because of these rules, positioning in melee is paramount. Okay, yeah. So they could attack... Right, I get it. I understand. All characters can move to an adjacent position on their own side. If they move into a position that is occupied by another character, the character is pushed out of the position. Sure. Okay, so you can nudge people. That's kind of handy, actually, because Darkest Dungeon, I know it's intended, but if you get out of position, it can be really fiddly swapping dudes back and forth. This idea of pushing them further away is kind of helpful. Not only do characters in front row prevent melee attacks against characters directly behind them, but also make them more difficult to hit with certain range skills. Okay, with line of sight. So you can only block if they're directly behind. There's no like attack of opportunity or proximity or anything. When you want to move, select move icon. Right, okay, move more in front of Javik to protect him. I figured that's what you'd say. Select the target position and press again to confirm. God damn, don't right click. Let's do this. That'll do it. Each companion has 4 combat skills beside move. Yep, I can see that. When you select a skill, its stats are displayed. You can select a skill or move by pressing their number 1 to 5. Yep, okay. Use Mind Blast skill 1 on your opponent. So we'll do that. Seems to want me to hit him, so I guess we'll do that. Zap him with your brain, mate. Morn skills include the option to push front row enemies back and pull back row enemies to the front. Some skills are more complex, including a movement and attack. These types of skills can be used to create an effect. Right, use her savage kick to send the jacker enemy to the back row, denying it an attack. Get out of here. Now you can consult the combat log. Character sheet can be opened, and then there's a forfeit button. Defeat your enemies, hold space. Okay. What do we got here? Premonition. And a single ally receive a bonus for initiative. Alright, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's do that. We both get a bit jacked. Okay, up they move. Single target moves to where you command it. Oh, that's cool. Oh, can I not, Oh, I guess I'm mind blasting now. Whoops. It's alright, the controls are a little fiddly. Alright, melee, a whip that pulls a single opponent forward. Savage kick. Hit 2 adjacent enemies in the same row. Then move to the side. Let's test that because I want to see if I can do it without without moving. Strafe. It won't let me. Now, it seems to be favoring that, but can I go to this one? There we go. Okay. Right, so he can attack straight in on him like that. Interesting. Okay. Poor damage. Get deleted, mate. Oh, I think he's dead. Oh no. Oh, evaded. Where's he going? Nice. Get smashed. All right, look, it's rudimentary, it's there, it's a part of it, and it's not the core feature. So look, I wouldn't say it's the strongest part of the game or even the most interesting part, but it's functional, right? It doesn't have to be stellar if it's not the centerpiece. Something that comes to mind immediately is Dead in Vinland. It has a similar one. Like, I suppose they walk the line of feeling tacked on, right? Like, there might be an argument to be made that the game would be better without the system or something else. I'm not 100% sure. You know, I'm not, don't hold me to that. But yeah, that was always my thought with Dead in Vinland. Arguably, the combat was a little bit tedious, a little bit weak, but it still did the job, and it was only there when it had to be there. It wasn't the center of it. This is, you know, we're here for the narrative, we're here for the management of the caravan, the trading, the exploration. The combat is a part of it, and that seems okay. Yeah, it's not doing anything radical, but at the same time, it's not egregiously bad or anything, but I think that's a fair assessment. Anyway, I'm not trying to bash on it, but I'd be lying if I said it was the most fun bit so far. Okay. The 2 Jakra lie dead at your feet. Morwen wipes the foul-smelling blood from her axe blade as the guards arrive to talk to her. "You okay, boss?" Javik pats you on the shoulder. You nod, turning to Morwen as she approaches you. "All hostiles taken care of," she says. "They got to some of the food, but we could take their meat and other parts to make up for it. Harvest the damn critters and go back to bed. Perhaps you'll gain something from this in the end." Now, what's this? Perk, hunting required. Yeah, let's do that. Ivory, supplies, and hides. Oh, well, that was a fortuitous sort of turn. Okay, so that's the end of a day, I think, is how saving works. The game saves as you progress automatically each time you reach a checkpoint in the story when leaving a settlement, and also at the start of every new in-game day. I can only hope that it's saved there. If not, that's fine. I could do the combat again before we load back in. Very cool. So we're getting a bit more of an idea of what the gameplay is about. I think there were people asking on the previous video if we could cover that. Like I said, it's difficult in this format to really showcase. I mean, I know I'm on the other side of it. You know, I guess I'm in industry or however stupid term you want to call it. But I understand the way I consume and see video games can be very different from the way that you guys can. And I'm trying to think of, I don't know, say Pathfinder. There's a game. How can you truly make an assessment of what Pathfinder has to add? A game that's probably 200 hours long. It has entire different mechanics halfway through the game. You know, if you were looking on YouTube or around in forums and just trying to find out a thorough assessment of what's in it, it'd take you a long time and you'd have to watch a lot of videos. And I think that's just the nature of the beast. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I suppose I'm being sympathetic. I'm doing my best to platform the game, at least in the early episodes, because that's what I like to do. But it's tough, you know. We could be 50 episodes into this and probably still scratching the surface. So, yeah, I hope I've given a good idea of what this game's about. I'm not done yet, by the way. I'm really enjoying this, actually. I want to keep playing through. So buckle in, team. Here's another playthrough that will get a bunch of episodes done as well. Alright, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.